What's going on, guys? It's Joe from the Spread Podcast. Today, I'm going to be doing my NHL bracket challenge. I'm so excited to get this started. I know Christian posted his earlier. He started off in the West, I believe. I'm going to start off with the East because the East is a bit more interesting. The West, I feel like it's a bit more of a breeze, as you can tell. You see the matchups are all not that bad. So let's start off in the East. Okay. Buffalo, Boston. I think that's going to be an amazing series. Let's look at the analysis first. So, obviously, Buffalo is first in the Atlantic. They have a lot more points, goals per game. It's not that different. Buffalo has a slight edge. Goals against per game against Buffalo has a slight edge. So, honestly, these teams are fairly evenly matched. Other than the fact that, even the special teams are pretty matched. The only thing I would say is the scoring. Obviously, Boston has a guy like David Pastrnak on the team, so he's the only true superstar in that series, I would say. And I said it before in the TikTok that we posted. I really like Buffalo's chances here. I'm gonna take them. I know it doesn't let me choose in how many, but I'm gonna say in six. I think they're all gonna be close games. I don't. I see Swayman holding it down for Buffalo or Boston, sorry, for quite a few of the games, and Buffalo's an inexperienced team, so they might lose a couple games because of that inexperience. Although they are the stronger team overall, I really like their chances here. And now we move on to Tampa and Montreal. That's a big series. I think it's gonna be the best series of the playoffs. Personally, you have two of the most. They're tied in the standings. And let's look at the analysis here. You see season points 106, 106. Goals per game exactly the same. Goals against. Tampa has the edge. Obviously, Vasilevsky's a hell of a goaltender. So I think that's really where Montreal's going to have to step up their game. Although I do think this 3.1 is a bit inflated because Samuel Montembeault was in the net for quite a bit of the Habs season, or for a little bit of the Habs season. I think that might have an impact on it. But, as a guy who watches the Lightning and the Habs quite often, I think that the Lightning do have a lot of the edge and the experience of physicality, the veteran leadership that they have. But I will say that Montreal still has a pretty good shot here. They have a young team, they have speed, they have a lot of skill on their team. They have a 50 goal scorer in Cole Caulfield. They have Suzuki, who just got 100 points. He's probably the best two-way center in the league right now. Montreal's the best center in that series, and they have the second best winger. So I know that Kucherov is a big X factor here, but I think who the biggest X factor is going to be, I think it's going to be Jakub Dobish. He's been so strong for the Habs down the stretch for Montreal, and I just think if he is on his game, it's going to be hard to beat Montreal, especially with how much they can score. Now, I think with Tampa, I think their X factor is going to be either Braden Point or Jake Gensel. Those two guys have playoff experience. They've won cups before, and we know what they can do. We've seen them on the biggest stages, how they perform in the playoffs. But we're really gonna have to see them step it up here if Tampa's gonna want a chance to win. So with that being said, I'm gonna take Montreal. I think this goes to seven. I don't think it's I think there's gonna be maybe a couple blowouts for Tampa possibly or for Montreal, but I think a lot of these games will go to OT in my opinion. Two out of the four of the games in the regular season went to overtime. So, or I think it was one of the games went to a shootout, but it's gonna be a really good series in my opinion. Going seven for sure, I think. And now we got Carolina, Ottawa. I know a lot of people are talking about how good Ottawa is gonna do. Let's look at the analysis here. Obviously, Carolina first in East, they have 113 points. Slight edge in goals per game and goals against per game. Nothing too big. And power play is pretty even. Penalty kill, Carolina always has had a decent penalty kill. This year it hasn't been as good as years in the past. But Aho only 80 points this year. Stutzla with again a solid year, 83 points, just over a point per game. I really like Carolina here, honestly. I know a lot of people are talking about Ottawa and how they're a playoff team, but I think Carolina gets the edge. Now, with that being said, I think if Ottawa were to win, they need Allmark to perform at his best. If Allmark can make a good amount of saves in every game, I think they have a chance to win. But if they don't, it's gonna be really tough, man. Carolina's got a pretty solid offense and they know how to win in the playoffs until they get to the third round and play an actual contending team, you know. So I'm gonna take Carolina here. I think they win in seven, probably. I'm gonna say seven because of home ice advantage. Maybe if Ottawa had it, they would win. But yeah, let's move on to Pittsburgh and Philly. This is gonna be a hell of a series, man. I think this series goes seven, tied in season points. Obviously, uh, Philly had the late run at the end of the season, but goals per game, obviously Pittsburgh way better. Goals against Pittsburgh much better. Power play, penalty kill. See, Pittsburgh has the edge in all categories, but this is just gonna be a physical, tough, rough series and it's gonna be a really gritty series, especially if Philadelphia wants to win. They're gonna need to have it as physical as possible. If it's a series built off skill, they're not gonna win that. We know this already. The Pittsburgh Penguins have a good amount of skill. They still have Crosby, they have Malkin, they have Letang, they have Carlson. They're still a solid team, although those guys are mostly veterans and they have more experience than Philly. So I'm gonna take Pittsburgh. I think this one can either go. I think I'll take them in six. And okay, let's put how many series? We're putting Buffalo in six. We're putting Montreal in seven. Carolina, I'm gonna go with them in seven, and then Pittsburgh in six. So yeah, that's the east side of the bracket from the first round. Let's move on to the west. Colorado, LA. I'm gonna take LA. I'm joking. No, I'm not taking LA. Easy, 31 points differential, goals per game, one entire goal differential, half a goal here. Power play, yeah, Colorado power play was not good, but not too much to worry about. Power penalty kill is much more important than the power play in the playoffs, I think, and it's gonna be Colorado. It's not really a question here. They have McKinnon, they have Natchez, they have McCarr, they have better goaltending. Maybe LA wins one game. I'll say Colorado in five, but maybe LA. I mean, there's no 3-on-3 overtime or shootout, so it might be kind of tough for them to win here. But yeah. All right, now we got Dallas and Minnesota. So Dallas and Minnesota, man, this is a hell of a series. This is going to be an amazing series. Dallas had a really good end of the season. Robertson was popping off. So, mm, this is a tough one, man. Because obviously the Wild picked up Hughes halfway through the season, and that is going to be the X factor for them. It's how good is Hughes going to be? If he can perform, if he can play his game, I don't think they're going to stop. I don't know if they can stop Minnesota, but since Dallas has home ice advantage, and also I think Dallas has a bit more depth. They have experience too. Although Minnesota, they have a bit of experience. I'm still taking Dallas's experience over that. They've been to the conference finals for 3 straight years now. They've lost to Edmonton for 3 straight years. I got to take Dallas. I think we're going to see a rematch Colorado Dallas in the second round, which would, my God, that would be a great series. Okay, now Vegas and Utah. Okay, this is a fun series, but I feel like this is just, man. See, Vegas doesn't even deserve to be here, bro. These guys are like, they have seven, I think, like, more losses than they have wins in the season, and they're still in a playoff spot, and they're first in their division. A bunch of loser points, bro. That's how it is. And you can see here, they're tied goals per game, goals against per game. Power play slightly better, penalty kill slightly better. So I think this series goes 7 games, actually. And I really like Utah's chances. Um, Although Vegas has the experience, they definitely have the goaltending. I'm gonna give the edge to Utah. They have Veg Melka. He's pretty good, but I'm actually gonna take Utah in 7 games. I really like their game, and they were really strong at the beginning of the season, but obviously being in that tough Central is really hard to get into a good playoff spot. So, like, I think if they were in the Pacific, they could probably make it in. They could probably get the first in the Pacific, right? Although they're already 3 points behind Vegas. I think if they had the same matchups as the Pacific teams do, they would probably fare better against them. Okay, now we got Edmonton and Anaheim. A rematch. Was it 2017 or 2018? One of the seconds in the second round one year, and Anaheim won. Okay, this is a very interesting series because you have a team like Edmonton who's been to the finals for 2 straight years now, and Connor McDavid who's in search of his first Stanley Cup. Obviously, they're going to get Draisaitl back for the playoffs. It's curious to know if he's going to be at 100%. I think he will. I think he's going to be at 100% now that he's taking the time to, rest, relax, take that time off. I just don't see the skill in Anaheim yet. I mean, I see the skill, but I don't see the experience yet. I don't think they're as strong as Edmonton. So obviously they had a really they were always in the mix Anaheim this year, so you have to have some respect to them. I think they can still compete in this series. I'll put Edmonton to win. So let's start off. I would say Colorado in five. I'll say Dallas in seven. I'm gonna say Utah. I think they can win in six. I'll say Utah in six, and then Edmonton. I think Edmonton's gonna beat them in five. Or actually, I'll put six because sometimes Edmonton struggles in the first round. Okay, now moving on to the second round. Okay, I'm gonna start off in the West now. Oh, what a series here. Colorado, Dallas once again. Oh my gosh, this is a tough one. Oh boy, I really like Dallas's chances. I'm not gonna lie, and it's gonna be another Dallas Edmonton conference finals. I feel like, but I like Dallas's chances here. They're a strong team. They have a much better power play. I know I said power play isn't that important in the playoffs, but when it's a 10 point differential, that's important. And better goals per game and goals against, obviously both fair in the Avalanche's favor. But Dallas is not a bad team by any means, and they've made it. They beat Colorado before. Colorado's better than they were last year, but I'm gonna take Dallas. I think they win this series probably in 7 games. Again, two big series here for Dallas. It's gonna be hard for them to get out of it, but I think they can. Okay, now we got Utah, Edmonton. This is another series where an inexperienced playoff team against a team like Edmonton, where you have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, Evan Bouchard in the playoffs, even Nugent Hopkins, Hyman. Obviously their goaltending is not as good as Utah, but it's been better. Ingram's getting better as time goes on. So I mean, I'm going to take Edmonton here. I think they can win this series in 5 or 6 games. We know how good they are in the playoffs. It's all about that finals for Edmonton and the third round even. They got to get through Dallas. So I'm gonna take Edmonton and okay, I think they're probably gonna win the series in. I'll say they're gonna win in 6 games against Utah again. I think Utah will put up a fight, win a couple games at home. That atmosphere I feel like is gonna be crazy. Okay, now let's move on to the Atlantic to the East, Montreal and Buffalo. Buffalo has home ice advantage against this Montreal team. Now, pretty close in season points, tied in goals per game, goals against per game, pretty close. All the stats are fairly even. I will take Montreal's offense over Buffalo's offense. I think it's a lot more skilled. Although it is like not as deep, it is a lot more skilled, not as physical, but I can really see Montreal, their offense doing really well in this series, especially against that Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, who is not like a, Vasilevsky, right? So, but Buffalo, I would say they have better defense for sure. I think goaltending is fairly even in this series. I think I give Montreal the edge. I think they can win this series in six. So we have Montreal advancing to the conference final, and then we got Carolina, Pittsburgh. Ooh, Carolina, we know how they are against contending teams. But Pittsburgh isn't a contending team, man. So I'm sick and tired of people saying Pittsburgh's a contending team. They had one okay season. They only have 98 points. Now, although I would love to see Crosby have one last run, I think it ends here with Carolina. I think that Carolina is just the better team. They have, although goaltending, okay, this is the X factor for Pittsburgh now. It's Stuart Skinner. If he can perform like how he did in some games last year for Edmonton, will do be fine. They can actually win this series against Carolina. But for now, I'm going to take Carolina in 6 games. I think but although if Stuart Skinner can play really good, I think that they can push that to Pittsburgh can win that in 7. I will say that for sure. Okay, now we got another rematch. Edmonton, Dallas. What a series. The past 2 years, it's been Edmonton. I don't think it happens again, man. I don't think it I can't see them three-peating to the finals. I really don't see it happening. Although, they have a guy like McDavid and we know what he can do in the playoffs. And I always say I don't want to doubt Edmonton. In this series, I have to. Dallas is the superior team, better offense, maybe not as good as offense, sorry, but much better defense, much better goaltending. They're just deeper, but again, the only thing that matters for Edmonton is how good McDavid plays. If McDavid can put up to like 15 plus to 17 plus points, they can win. But if he can do that, that's the question. So I'm going to take Dallas. I think it goes to 7. That's going to be a hell of a series. Probably the best series of the playoffs, I think, if it happens. Okay, now we got Montreal, Carolina. Uh, you know, Carolina is a really good team. We've seen how they've done in the conference finals, though. They've faltered a lot for the past couple of years. They've lost. So, but this is a really interesting conference finals because you have a young team like Montreal. Has never really been here, with the exception of some other guys like Suzuki, Caulfield, Gallagher, Anderson, Evans. I go on, but Carolina, they have been here a lot of times and they know how to play these games. But I think with Montreal, with their youth and resilience, they could push this one to maybe 6 or even 7 games, possibly. At the end of the day, though, I think Carolina takes it. And now we got the finals, Dallas, Carolina. Low key, this might be the worst finals we're going to see in a little while. I know last year wasn't that great, but I don't think this one's going to top it. I think Dallas is gonna win this one, man. I don't even think it goes 6 games. I think this goes 6 games tops. I'm gonna take Dallas in 6. I think they have better offense, they have better defense, they have better goaltending, and they're just a better team overall. I really do believe that. So I'm gonna take Carolina. How many scores? How many goals? I will say, okay, 7. Let's say it goes 6 games. About 5 goals on average per game. So 30, let's say 34 goals I've read. Okay, well, that's my bracket, guys. I appreciate you guys watching. If you want to take a look at it, oh, miss requirement. Uh-oh. Well, that's my bracket, guys. If you want to look at it one more time, pretty pretty good playoffs. I think it's gonna be one of the better playoffs that we're gonna see in a long time. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If leave a comment if you enjoyed. Tell me what you guys think. I think it's better than Christian's bracket. So and also subscribe. Leave a like. Check out our other socials. I really appreciate you guys watching. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy the playoffs.